Hey everybody, wanted to come to you today and just talk with our director of running and personal trainer, Lisa Patton. Lisa has run multiple marathons. She's trained many ladies in 5Ks, half marathons, and full marathons. And a bunch of people have been asking us questions lately that we wanted to answer for you guys. So let's get started. So a couple of questions right off the bat. A really big question that a lot of people have is, what do I eat before I run, or should I eat before I run?
And that's a great question, Caroline. I get that all the time from my runners. And one of my rules of thumb is if I'm running less than an hour, then it's okay for that early morning run for not to have breakfast until after the run.
Okay.
But if I'm going an hour or over an hour, then I'm gonna wanna have breakfast. And what I would consider a great breakfast would be, I love our overnight oats.
Yes, I love that.
I try to do that at least an hour before if I'm going to do a workout, and so that's tough on those early mornings. When we're actually racing, then we put our breakfast a full 2 hours before our race. And if you're coming in for an hour plus workout, a banana, some almonds, your overnight oats. I try to stay away from bars because you really have to be careful to make sure that you're not getting too many added sugars, but paying close attention to those ingredients. Something with great protein and a little bit of carbohydrates is great before a run.
I'm kind of crazy. I always Lisa suggested this for me a long time ago, to do a half a sweet potato with a little bit of almond butter on my sweet potato. And I really like to have that about 30-45 minutes before I do a long run. That sustained me through many marathons. So that's just a great all-natural form of good carbohydrates. So thank you for that. That's a great question. Okay, so another question regarding nutrition, which a lot of runners have had, is, okay, if I'm doing an hour plus run, even if it's a walk run, should I have anything during? Because sometimes we get that crash where we just crash out. So what is it, Lisa, that you would suggest maybe mid, and what's the timing of that?
So I really encourage hydration, especially when the summer months are coming on. Keeping water with you. This Athens also has lots of stops that you can plan your run for some water. And if you're running longer than an hour and a half, then I would recommend a 45-minute having some fuel.
Okay.
And by fuel, I mean it can be a couple bites of a banana in your pocket. Dates are a great thing to carry on your runs. Again, paying close attention, and if you're training to improve your time or your endurance, then this fuel, you're really going to want to pay close attention to what is in the fuel. So one of my favorites I use is a UCAN fuel, which
I'm laughing because she calls it breast milk. It looks like this white milk.
Gave my secret away.
Sorry,
Gave my secret away.
But it's a very successful secret that we've all tried, and it does work. So.
And it's a lower sugar, so you're not getting that sugar high, because what comes after sugar high? A crash. So we're also careful about how much sugar is in that fuel on your runs. And then also, a lot of people like to have a little bit of caffeine for that kick, but I also want to look into that, because if you take caffeine right before your run, you're going to have a crash with it, and then so each fuel will need to contain caffeine. So we want to keep an eye on that. And a lot of people are running and walking for weight loss. And so with that, we have to be really careful about fueling with some healthy, nutrient-dense fuel, but also in order to have weight loss, we're having to have less calories come in than are going out. So paying close attention on how nutrient and power punched your calories are. But the careful thing to do there is, when we are asking so much out of our bodies, we have to make sure they have the fuel that they need so they can perform efficiently. So there's a lot of science that goes behind these amazing machines that God has given us.
That's so true, and so important to plan in advance, not just say, hey, I'm going to go out for an hour and a half run, and 24 hours in advance you haven't fueled properly. That's a recipe for disaster. So that's what we're real big about, what nutrients are going into your body the week, the days leading up to this run that puts a lot of stress on your body. So going into talking about a run, tell us about our form, Lisa, just a little bit about form. And I really like to know, because people ask me a lot about cadence. Your legs are short, they go a lot faster than mine, or Lisa's legs are long. God created us all differently, but running form is something we can all work on. So Lisa, just kind of run through the current.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing that, I always get is like, well, I can't run because my legs aren't long like yours. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's actually taken me a long time to shorten my stride, because a lot of times you want to overstride and stretch out as long as you can go, and we actually want to make sure that our stride is landing under our body.
Stride under our body.
So when you're stretching your legs out, thinking about stepping as far as you can go, and that foot lands in front of your body, you'll probably have heard the term heel strike a lot. And that is, you can heel strike and it's okay under your body. When you're heel striking in front of your body, it's like hitting a little brake. And so one thing that I like to just keep in mind when I'm running is everything landing under my body? So propelling me forward and landing under my body. So your cadence is how many times your foot hits the ground in that minute. And so a great average cadence that you'll hear a lot recommended is 180 steps per minute. And so that is gonna look the same, 180 steps for my body and for Caroline's body. All right, so that's just how many times your foot hits the pavement in that minute. Caroline, whether you're running a 10-minute mile or a 6-minute mile, your cadence can be the same. So the distance that you go and your speed is actually comes from your power. And that's where we love to keep our strength workouts in. So strengthening our glutes, hamstrings, calves, and upper body to help with that power. So your cadence is the same no matter what your speed. I know it scares a lot of people. Oh, I can't do that many steps a minute, but that is just a healthy, efficient way to run. And then your speed, your distance will improve with your power and propulsion.
Propulsion.
Yes,
Those are all hard words. But I love hearing that, because Lisa and I are created so differently, and we have so many people that say, well, you're fast because your legs are short, or she's fast because her legs are long. Well, I love it that cadence is the same regardless. 180 steps per minute, just pop, pop, and you'll hear her when she's training us, pop, 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 like popcorn with those feet. And that's because we're trying to work on that faster cadence, but it's to strengthen the power in the legs. So Lisa, going off of that, when you're talking about strength, say I'm training for a race, whether it be a 5K or a half marathon or a marathon, what would you suggest? Do I need to be, because a lot of times people say, well, I run every day. I need to run every day if I'm training for a race. What would you suggest would be the most efficient, healthy thing for our bodies training for a race, workout-wise, throughout the week?
So what I recommend, and have we've seen it successful time and time again, is a 3 runs a week, and at least 2 strength workouts, and also then some swims, bikes. So you've got a little cross training in there as well. So you're getting plenty of cardio. Our 3 runs are a tempo run, which is going to be a longer distance at so it's not your long run, but it's a distance at your goal pace, or about 20 seconds above your goal pace, or 20 seconds under your goal pace. And our interval training is opportunity to get your heart rate up, and then you'll have a recovery time. So it's shorter bursts of energy using your run. So you're working on a little bit of speed, but also working on endurance with your interval training. And then, the fun long run. So you just get to chill out, talk about what's going on. And I think about that run as time on your feet.
Time on your feet.
That's a great, if you've got specific goals for your race, that's a great run that you're practicing your fuel, you're practicing your meal before. You're practicing what you're going to wear.
Exactly.
And
it's all very important.
Yes.
So I love that. So 3 runs, 1 being a tempo run, one being an interval run, and then one being a long run time on your feet. So not so much as, okay, this long, 10, 15, 20 miler has to be at my goal pace, but it's just time on your feet to really just practice all the things that you want to be doing in your race. I love that. And then those 2 to 3 days of strength cross training, so important. So I just love hearing that, because I think the first marathon I ever trained for, I ran 6 days a week, and I tried to do strength work on top of that, plus yoga. I was completely tacked out and burned out, and I ended up getting injured. And so this really great tried and true method of the 3 days of running, but different types of runs, plus adding in the strength training, so you have strong glutes, you have strong core, strong shoulders, so that you have the most efficient, best run or best race day.
And Caroline, I find all the time that busy women have, like, I've got 30 minutes, let me get my run in. It's easy, throw on your shoes, and we typically go as hard as we can and then come back.
Yes.
And we're ending up doing that same type of run as many days a week as we can. And so one is, you're not necessarily going to reach your full potential in that run or be able to do your best. So by giving yourself a chance, I always say I'm going to use my recovery days and be as intense on those as I am on my run days. So if I'm running a Tuesday and I'm not running Wednesday, my body's going to be ready to give its best on Thursday again. And adding that healthy strength training, your strength, specifically like in a deadlift, which we'll do in here a lot in TransFit, single legs and double legs, can correlate directly with your speed. So it's also how we love to do more reps. That is, you're building muscle, lean muscle mass, so it's not as much bulking up. So you're keeping your weight in an appropriate race weight, but you're also building strength and power in your muscles. So it's a great recipe for fun and healthy, efficient running.
It really is. I think that's great. Well, thank you so much for answering all our questions. And you guys, if you have any more questions, please feel free to email us. You can email Lisa at transfitathletes.com, or us, but we'd love to answer any of your running questions. We're here for you. So we hope to see you out on the track or at a race soon. We're heading out for a run right now. Bye.